Oh, hello. How are you? Welcome to the Weekly Bizarre. It's me, Alex Whiteley. How's it going? How's your day been? I've got a weird crocodile thing behind me. I've been so busy backstage putting things together. I didn't think, oh, what's behind you, Alex? It could possibly embarrass you. Just my kid's toy behind me. Hey, he's cool. He's welcome on the show. He is. Look how cool he is. Welcome to the show, guys. Today, I have a great guest. A great guest who I love having part of my life and someone who I'm going to be working with in the future. We're going to tell you more about that in the show. But I'm going to introduce him. Here's the great, the powerful, the very well respected by me, Mr. Eric Fluger. How's it going, sir?
Hello, hello. You can hear me?
I can hear you. You're coming through loud and clear and live on USUK Network. We also we've replaced David this week. He's not feeling very well. He's had his COVID jab, and if you've had your COVID jab, you know that it can give you a few effects and make you feel a bit shit. And that's what's happening with David. We have a new member of USUK joining us today. Someone who's going to be working very hard behind and backstage and making our brand shine and making us look great. But someone we can also throw behind the microphone now and again. It's Ori Kimbler. Thank you very much, Ori.
Hi, guys!
Hello.
Welcome to the team.
Thanks, guys. I'm super excited.
Lots of changes going on, but for the positive. We've when you bring someone onto the team to be like, have a look at everything, just look at it all. It's kind of daunting because you're kind of like, I can do this behind a microphone, right? Being behind a microphone is kind of what I was born to do. Running a company and running a brand and making sure social media ticks over nicely is not something I'm particularly brilliant at. I can kind of tread water a little bit, but not shine. So what was it like getting to see the under never regions of you?
It's very scary. You could definitely tell that it's not been taken care of. It's like a garden, and the root system is just like it's there. It's trying to do its work, but I'm there to kind of like give it the nutrients that it needs and make sure it's getting everything it needs to grow. Positive, it's weird.
Nice. You are, yeah. You're doing a better job at, you compared yourself to a weed whacker then, basically, but you're much more than that.
I'm gonna come in and just whack everything off. That sounds so bad. That's not what I meant. You know what I meant? Never mind.
You're doing it already. You're doing an amazing job. So thank you so much for joining us. David in the chat says, "I'm sorry. I did say to him, David's a close friend of ours. His health and making sure he's okay is worth a lot more to us than him coming on the podcast." And he says, "Wait, what?" He's like, "What?" Yeah. Should have come on the show now.
Yeah,
Eric,
right.
Yeah, believe it or not. Well, I send David my very best wishes, and I hope he gets better.
Yes, we all do. Eric, how have you been, sir? How's Florida?
How is it always? Crazy. We don't have Florida Man for no reason. He's simply he's just a metaphor for the state's mentality as a whole, which is really just reduced to
I don't know, because obviously I've got no sort of point of reference because I'm not from Florida. I don't walk around the streets. But is it that crazy, or is it overemphasized? Is it just like
No, Florida's that crazy. So I'm a couple states away. I'm in Louisiana, and like we're the party state. Like we do stupid stuff because everybody's drunk. Florida's just dumb. Like, sorry, Eric.
Well, what's to apologize for? You won't get any argument from me.
Okay. But I mean, the Florida Man thing is very telling of the mentality there, because they will do stupid stuff just because it's stupid.
Just because.
Literally. And I have yet to really process how I feel as a Florida man with regard to the Florida man phenomenon. What am I supposed to deal with? All I can do is just look at it all, no matter what they report. Florida man does this, Florida man does that, and just say, I got nothing.
Well, you can be a Florida gentleman.
Well, there's very little gentleness here, but I shall try. I'll try to be a bastion of gentlemen inside just man.
But I think once you know Eric and you get to know him, you realise he's not your typical humdrum 9 to 5 guy. So I think the vibrancy and the colourful nature of you, Eric, you suit to be in a very interesting place to live, I gotta say. So it's kind of meant to be.
To have me deal with Florida is the equivalent of dropping Fraser Crane into Deliverance, you know.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
I love it.
Oh, for God's sakes, Niall.
Oh, for God's sakes, Whiteley. We hear that quite a bit. Whiteley. Anyway, look, we've got a show to do today. We've got some crazy news stories that we've got sort of tailor found and sort of brought to you guys because nobody wants to talk about politics and religion and all the bad shit that's going on in the world right now. We want to talk about things that are funny, and we found some great stories. Fill. We have had our fill. And we always start the show off with a story of the week. Now, there's been a running theme going for the last few weeks, and it's this Suez Canal bullshit that's been going on. It's been a meme legend, it really has. But I'm really sad to see it go. But they're pulling on those strings. They're like, oh, how far can we take this? Because now apparently Australia's got their very own Suez Canal. I don't know why I cropped that like that. Fucking Mail Online, they need to sort this out. Make me
huge piece of mining machinery.
Australia's Suez Canal, a huge piece of mining machinery, is blocking a major Queensland highway with traffic backed up for 15 kilometres. It says a dump truck bed falls off a semi-trailer, blocking a major Australian highway. The mining machinery dropped off the Peak Downs highway at Epsom. The traffic in the area has been backed up for 15 kilometres, as it says in the headline there. I do have pictures. You want to see it?
Yes. I like when huge machines fight back.
Visual aids are always fun.
Oh my god!
Look at the size of that bad boy.
Oh, that's a dump truck right there. Look at that back end.
That's a dumb truck.
That's the most Australian thing ever. Apparently it's a really busy highway in and out of Australia. Look at the size of the thing. It's one lane. It's one lane.
Good luck getting around it, even if that hadn't happened.
Oh my gosh, and there's no way to just get around that. It's not going to happen.
But we covered a similar story last week with a boat that fell in Florida, funny enough, blocking up the highways. And these are things
it's a trend now. It's really a trend.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the same with the monoliths that are everywhere. Everybody's, we want a monolith. Everybody's getting these monoliths. It's just weird how countries try and copy each other. Ryan was saying, I was hoping you were going to go down a different route with the Suez Canal story.
Like actually down the canal and through it?
Hi guys, I'm coming from Egypt.
What they have in common is this.
I know.
They allow us to just point at civilization and go, wah, 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 wah.
Oh my gosh.
David said, that's a highway, kind of small. That's what I was saying, man. Yeah, that's just a road. So yeah, that's my story of the week. We're going to keep on pulling this thread, see how far we can go. Desperation stinks, right? Absolutely.
What killed me is that someone I knew said, after the whole thing in Suez happened, they said, well, now let's plug off the Panama Canal and then we'll have the world by the balls.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how something like that can really just fuck up the world. Literally clogged up the money-making artery of the world, you know? That's crazy. Right, we always go to our guest for the first story.
But we're vulnerable to things that are themselves so sensitive.
I got half of that, Eric. But I've got to say, explain to listeners, well, we are having a few tech issues with Eric, so if he just drop in and out, it's fine. We'll go with the flow, because that's what life is all about. Eric, you've got this amazing story about the monitor. Oh, actually, let's not do that. Let's not go too far into this, because we've got to pay our respects. I just completely forgot, so I'm really sorry. My wife's just giving me a beer.
Oh, that's romance.
Thank you, wife.
Thanks, Alex's wife. We love you.
There we go. Look at that. Fucking A. All right. We've lost a royal today. So Prince Philip has died today, aged 99, the Duke of Edinburgh. He's passed away today, so we're very sorry about that. I can't help myself. I'm really sorry. I called that story Duke Nukem. I'm sorry. I can't. And the next story, the next story I called X Gone Give It To You No More because DMX has passed away, unfortunately. It says rapper DMX, real name Earl Simmons, has died at the age of 50 after reportedly suffering a drug overdose and being admitted to hospital after a heart attack. Now, both of these deaths, I mean, as much as I want to pay respects and get sad, they're kind of bittersweet, really, because I liked Prince Philip in the Crown. I thought the first 2 seasons, I thought it was played really well. But from what I hear, he was a bit of an arsehole. So, yeah, it's a respectable royal and a guy who's done a lot, but at the same time, shifty morals, probably. And then there's X Gone Give It To You, who made great music, but was extremely homophobic. And we mentioned him on Wednesday's show. We actually spoke about him for the very random thing to bring up, and he fucking died, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like, I run a couple of nerdy groups, and like it's everywhere. Like the news, and I'm a huge rap fan, so
that album, the one out. I forgot what it's called. The one with X Gonna Give It To You. That album, I played it so much. I love that album so much.
It's still one of my like long drive albums that I listen to. I just sit in the car and I'm like, X Gonna Give It To You, what? Driving and like throwing the fist.
Absolute classic. Ryan says apparently there was a story that he heard on a local radio about people writing erotic fan fiction about the Suez Canal.
Eric, hey Ryan, I need you to send me that link.
Yes, please do. If you find a link, send it. I'd love to read some of that out on the show. David says you wish you could drink. No, David, I think you need a break, mate, in all honesty. Ryan says if she really loved you, she'd bring you a real drink. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with a good, nice cold beer. David says RIP DMX. Right, dead people out of the way. Eric, giant monitor lizards rocking up in supermarkets. What is going on here, mister? Are you there? Is he there?
Eric!
Have we lost Eric?
We've lost Eric!
Okay, I'm going to fill in for Eric. I'm going to just take him away from there. I'm not being rude, but sometimes it's good. It helps to reset. This story reads, a cleanup in Reptile 4. Moment 6-foot-long monitor lizard climbs up supermarket shelves as it raids store for food. Reptile sparks a panic after it ran into a 7-Eleven store in Nakhon Pathom in Thailand. Staff and customers hid behind the counter as the beast rampaged through the store. Shop assistant called police, who arrived with reptile handlers to snare this. Now, this has happened the wrong time, because if this would have happened before Godzilla vs. Kong, free marketing. I know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still post-marketing, which will make you think, hey, Reptile Lizard in the, it'll tie together. HBO has an idea.
So yeah, keep talking, Ori. I'm sorry.
Hi, filling time. No, so it really is this free marketing. So you're sitting there and you're like, because it's free technically to stream on HBO Max at any time. So you'll see the tie-in. They think. Right. It's called guerrilla marketing, because get it? King Kong.
That's awesome. Well done. Bow down. Definitely, we definitely chose the right person for this job. Because not only can you talk shit while I'm panicking, you say the right shit too. Right, so I do have, actually, a video, if it'll work, of this mad fucker going crazy in the store. Take a look at this.
He just wants snacks. I feel you.
I know, I was watching this, I was kind of like, poor guy. He just wants what's on the top shelf. Look at him.
Exactly. Nobody will help him.
Don't help me then, Sharon. Excuse you. Excuse you.
He's got up there, he's got his snacks, he's got a nice warm place by the light.
He doesn't like the slush though. You can see the hot air coming from the slush there. He's kind of like, I'm not sure about you. How amazing. I think that is stunning footage. Like, you don't see that very often. Eric is back with us, by the way.
Yeah, Eric, hi.
Try to be. God help me. I hate the fact that my computer is made in the 19th century.
Well, you're close enough. Maybe I can help you update. I mean,
Fair enough. I mean,
Absolutely.
I came in just at the tail end, pun intended, of the lizard story,
You deserve that, Eric. You deserve that. Well done.
and boom, thank you. I'm here all week. But what happened is I was scheduled to take that story. And I did have at least a little piece of material worked up
okay.
because I was going to work through the story, and then I was going to say, and then a big ape walked into the store also and said, "Where is he?" Put him up. Put
Why did you
him
say
up.
that name?
Why did you say Martha?
Really?
That was
I have
Oh my
had to
God.
re-examine the whole Snyderverse in the wake of the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. We will get around to talking about that, and we will get into the weeds on that and have fun. Not today, though. I am
David says,
eager to see this Godzilla versus King Kong thing, but I'm like, how can King Kong possibly fare in a fight like that when Godzilla has death breath and Kong doesn't? You tell me.
Because Kong has personality, and personality rates top 10.
Oh,
that's
he
what
has a
I got
winning
told all my
personality.
life, and that's kind of the thing. Well, you're a bit of a loser. Can't really compete with the athletes, Whiteley.
If you're Fay
not
Ray,
much
he
of a
has a winning
looker.
personality.
But you got a great personality. But yeah, Eric.
It worked for me.
David says he's looking for reptile dysfunction.
I love you, David. Like that. I wanted to
and-
say it, but I let you have it. I let you have that line, sir.
So Ryan has sent me the link for this story about the erotic fanfiction, and it says, you know the story by now. A massive container ship has been stuck in the Suez Canal since Tuesday, successfully blocking one of the busiest shipping routes on the planet. Ships have been forced to travel around the Cape of Good Hope like it's the 1700s. Global trade has been disrupted. Blah 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 blah. As of Friday, fanfiction platform Archive of Your Own boasts 27 fan works with the tag Suez Canal anthropomorphic. A majority, the majority pairing the canal and Ever Given, the container ship at the heart of the chaos. By default, these fics could all fall under the arguably antiquated category of crack fiction, which is not intentionally absurd. Usually written for laughs, they are also pretty compelling. Take, for example, the fic titled Triple Extra Wide Cargo Stuffs. Major shipping lane delivers huge payload. It was one of the most Suez ever given fics to. It was the first of the Suez ever given fics to crop up. Tells the tale. This is really badly written, but you get the idea. People are kind of like, yeah, we can get people off on this shit.
Really badly written seems to be a must for this genre. Or
Not only that, like that whole site, I may know a thing or two about because, I read a lot. There's some really bad erotica on that site. Thanks, Ryan. I knew where to go now.
Right. So are we done with this monitor lizard, or should we? Should we?
Well, let me see. I mean, the fact is, did he come in there to buy anything in particular, or was he going there on impulse? Did he go there to get snacks?
You gotta buy something before you use the bathroom, there, buddy. And it's just kind of like,
I just wanted to
gum?
use the can. I just needed to use the can. Can I use
Well, I
that?
mean, he's a reptile, so he was trying to get close to the lights where it's warm. I mean, he just needed to have a warm hug from the lights from above.
Aw.
It's a very romantic story.
It's a lot better than he was just going to get pork rinds or something.
Isn't it? Isn't Florida like that though with alligators? Is it like they're everywhere, aren't they?
Well, there are things like lizards, alligators, mosquitoes, ants, things like that you just take as a matter of course in Florida. Now, granted, no matter where you live, there are certain things you take as a matter of course. If it's Seattle, I guess it's rain. If it's Britain, I guess it's rain. I don't know, but there's always something, and that's unique to some land, and those critters seem to be unique to ours. And I don't necessarily think anyone would be surprised to see a gator come into a store here and go,
Hey, you got like latest issue of this or that magazine, or can I have a Slurpee? Yeah, I just need a pack of cigarettes.
He sounds like he's been smoking for a long time prior to that.
Have you had any first-hand experiences with alligators whilst walking about?
Not a
Any of
one.
you guys?
Oh yeah. So I live in Louisiana, and we have swamps everywhere. You could so Grand Isle, Louisiana. You know, it's a little isle out in the middle of nowhere, but you have to take a strip of road that's 20-something miles long, and it's nothing but bayou canal on one side and actual bayou on the other, and there are alligators and everything up and down. Like, I've actually ran over one and I felt horrible, but I have a new
Ran
purse.
over an alligator? What the fuck?
They go across, you know, from the bayou to the canal, and you know, you can't help it sometimes.
Her sense of empathy goes beyond the furry and the cuddly.
Hey, okay, that's not entirely wrong.
Ryan says
they
he loves
will
the
eat
smoking
you
Liz
too.
voice. I like that too.
It's like reptiles deserve our love too, not just like, aw.
I would never intentionally go out and hurt one, but if it gets in front of my car, what am I supposed to
What
do?
can you do? You just go, dirt! And if that isn't enough,
But if I drive off into the bayou, he could eat me.
really.
I mean, it's
Car, just like whole, like, come.
So we're automatically
Yeah,
in the car,
assuming
like,
it's going to become a B movie?
yes. Well, my life is a B movie, so this could happen.
Eli Roth in Ori Kimbler's I Drove Through the Bayou story.
Speaking of B
Back
movies,
one day, come what may do Blue Bayou.
speaking of B movies, Eric, we have a new sequel to Miss Congeniality called Miss Inconveniently, which is
Yikes.
Ori's new, which is Ori's story to bring, which it says reigning Mrs. World arrested over onstage melee
I read
in
this.
Sri Lanka.
Ori, let's see what you can do with it.
I want to talk about a girl fight.
It's this story is so how you imagine Miss World to be, though, right?
So I can imagine it. I didn't watch the video because, well, I was told about this last minute, and I was reading this article. All I'm thinking of, has anybody seen Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock? Where, you know, she runs and like she's trying to get the crown. Like, this is how I imagine that, but apparently it was way worse. Like, she was just yanking her around, and this is real life, so it's not, you know, there's no great music behind it. It's just yank, yank, yank.
I imagine it's like what you expect from Miss Congeniality, but then mix a bit of The Bachelorette into it or something along those lines, and you might have the spirit of it.
Yes. It was that's how I feel. Like, that was the whole.
It's an interesting story though, because there are rules and regulations for these. I don't agree with pageants. I think they're bullshit. I think they're stupid. But like, there are rules, and these girls are like groomed almost all their life for these moments, right? So there's always pent up energy when it gets to that moment. This is their moment. It says here, Colombo, Sri Lanka. Police in Sri Lanka on Thursday arrested the reigning Mrs. World for pulling the crown off the head of the winner of Mrs. Sri Lanka beauty pageant and allegedly causing injuries. She was later released on bail. Caroline Jury, who won the Mrs. World 2020 competition, was accused of hurting Pushpika Del Silva, who won the Mrs. Sri Lanka at a televised pageant held in Colombo on Sunday. Moments after De Silva won the title, Jury, who was also Miss Sri Lankan, came on stage and snatched the crown from her, saying she wasn't eligible because she was divorced. Jury then gave the crown to the first runner-up, declaring she was the winner. In a statement on her Facebook page, De Silva denied being divorced, and she says, being a part is one, divorce is something else. I'm still an undivorced woman, she wrote. In other words, like, can we hold off on the divorce just in case I win? So So it says police spokesman Ajif Rohana said police received a complaint from De Silva that she suffered injuries when the crown was removed. Rohana said jury and the model, Chula Pandamera, were arrested Thursday on charges of simple hurt and criminal force. How for a crime? Simple hurt and criminal force.
I think she should have also been arrested on SAS.
On SAS.
Possibly.
On SAS.
Bitch, that's my
Is
crown.
that a chargeable crime? I don't know.
I've really got to
yeah.
watch the video now because apparently the video does not do the written story justice.
It's not loading up on my thing because we have this problem that sometimes stories won't play in the UK but they'll play in the US. It's been a problem we've had on the show for a while, but fuck it, we'll just have to imagine it. Miss Congeniality. We kind of had that part
Alex,
done for
We
us.
are nothing if not improvisers.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna pretend to snatch the crown off of your head. Let's do this really dramatically, okay?
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
Or can we do this? Can we do this?
Okay.
Zack Snyder's.
That's the ugliest face I've ever pulled on a fucking camera. That's brilliant. Oh god.
Zack Snyder's Miss Congeniality.
Or if it was
Snyder
Biden, he'd be
Cut.
like, "I got a
4
shotgun."
hours long.
Sorry, went into controversy there. Oh,
so
right. Funny story. Fantastic. Moving on. So this. I'll call this one Flipping Neck because this one, for me, is just brilliant.
My virgin ears, your language. Ah.
Oh, Flipping Neck. I was doing unspeakable, ungodly things. Horrified woman reveals she accidentally sent a very X-rated video to her mother because of facial recognition slip-up on Google Photos. Canadian TikTok user Cara Tonin shared her embarrassing story on the app last week. Google Photos uses facial recognition software automatically put new photos and videos of her young son in an album. Cara has shared the album with her mother, who gets notification every time something new is added. Cara recently made an R-rated video. I think X-rated is probably the best way to describe this, where I was doing unspeakable, ungodly things to spice up her relationship. Google software recognized a photo of her son in the background and added the video to an album notifying her mother.
Oy. Oops.
Google, what have you done? What have you done?
Also, unspeakable, ungodly? I mean, it may not be godly, but it's clearly speakable.
She poured Pepsi in a Coke glass.
How dare you!
All I can think of is unspeakable and ungodly. I'm sure there was some gods mentioned
Could
at
be.
the time.
Might be several gods having been mentioned.
Oh
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Well, she can't be too embarrassed about it because she went on TikTok, this Cara girl, and she went and told the whole world what happened, which I think is probably the best remedy for something like this, isn't it? It's not like, oh my god, I can never look at my mother ever again. It's kind of like, can you believe that shit just happened? And have fun with it, you know?
You have no choice. You have to just run at it. The arrow is unloosed. What can you do?
Yeah.
It's not like her mom was gonna go on TikTok and tell everybody, she had to do it herself.
I'm not being funny, but if you come across a family member doing something like that, you don't like share it to your TV, get some popcorn, sit and watch it, do you? You kind of go, put the phone,
And if you do set popcorn, then there's other questions to be asked.
On her next
Barry,
TikTok-
come and have a look at this. Fucking look at what my kid's doing. Like fucking hell, Jesus Christ, I wish I could do it.
Honey, come over here and see this. Look what just showed up.
We had to make do with fucking, butternut squash when I were her age. We ain't got all those bits of technology now. I mean, I walk with a bit of a limp now. I got a bit of a limp, but that's because we didn't have access to these whirry toys that she's got there. Oh, look what she's doing now. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, on her next TikTok, she announces her OnlyFans.
Right.
A bit like Catch Me Outside, girl.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
made
it's
$1 million.
marketing. If she's smart and knows anything about marketing, she'll announce her OnlyFans next.
She's done that. Oh, you mean about this?
All I can think of is that it would help to have understanding parents, wouldn't it? I mean, if that would have happened to my mother, my mother would receive something like that from me. I'm sure she'd just go, "Oh, good, honey. I'm so proud of you."
I love how you've got this very Jewish-sounding grandmother. Next she's like, "Oh, we're having lox and bagels."
Now, granted, she's not that, and we're not that, but this just seems to be how she sounds in my mind.
That feeling, yes.
She evokes a spirit thereof without it being there.
Oh, hold on. There's a transcript
of the conversation after said video was seen.
Now we'll see how many "oh gods" there were in the transcript.
So it says Kara didn't indicate how that conversation went with her mother, but it appears to have gone quite embarrassingly. "I'm so sorry, Mom," she said. Over 500,000 people have liked Kara's funny video with comments, blah 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 blah, and it carries on with, "You were just showing your mom that you were trying to have another kid." Offered one, So that's. That would be the 13th reason, another one. I thought this was a transcript. It's not what people have said. Anyone else gasp out loud? I thought this was a conversation between the mom, but hey, fucking hell, that's embarrassing shit right there.
Yeah.
They lied. They sure did. Well, we'll move on from that story because it's funny as fuck, but we've got loads of shit to get through.
Moving right along.
We have been talking a lot about sex robots, AI, and lots of crazy shit that's been going on recently. But none of that shit, the sex robots, have freaked me out quite as much as our next story. And it's not even anything to do with sex. It's the fact how this has been done. Eric, this is the story. I called it the creepy fucker story because it's
the creepy... uncanny valley thing that links the two. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
It's the whole, this is not right, and I know it's not right. But now, please, go ahead. Go for it.
No, it's fine. It just says creepy deepfake AI makes dead relatives wink and blow kisses in photos. So think Harry Potter moving portraits, but doing that with relatives that have been dead for over 100 years or whatever,
Now, you think I'd go for it? I'm grieving, right? I mean, my father's not 3 months gone. You'd think I'd be all over this.
No way.
For one thing, winking and blowing a kiss is so not my father's style. He would be caught dead doing it. Make him yell at me. That'd be more like it.
Yeah, you need like one of those teddy bears that you can push.
Right? It's just not him. And truly animating a picture of him would just do nothing but give me the screaming willies. No, thank you.
Yeah. I've got a video. You guys want to see the video of this shit? And
Please.
You can let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you think this is creepy or if you think it's sweet. Genuinely, I want to know what you think. So here we go. If it'll play properly. Sometimes these have a way of sort of flickering and shit. Let's see what happens. So here we go. These are photos that just got.
No, wink, wink. No to me.
I don't know what's happening.
With 10 new animations.
She's sneering at me.
I don't know. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Carrie Fisher approves.
Actually, it's not bad animation. I'm not mad at this.
It isn't. It isn't bad, and that's part of the problem. It's realistic looking, and we want this inanimate image to suddenly go, "Hey, looking at you, kid. Don't look at me."
I mean, like, I could just imagine walking through a museum and watching, some random old scientist blow kisses at me. Like, let's just make this creepy, guys. Einstein.
Can you do that with paintings?
Actually, I've seen where artists are kind of starting to do the virtual reality stuff. So yeah,
they are. I've noticed that. I mean, don't do that in the Dali Museum, or you'll just throw up. It's like, oh my god, the melting watches are still melting.
I love the melting watches. I love this in a way though, because like the advances they're taking in this virtual reality or actual reality or whatever. It's quite good.
Augmented reality.
Augmented reality. Like the Have you seen the one where you can remove your beard? That's on Snapchat. I haven't been on Snapchat for over a year now. I downloaded it just to get
Henry Cavill could have used that.
Exactly. But it makes me look about 6. So,
I'm sure it'd make me look younger too.
Facebook user. Sorry, I don't have your name there, but it says technically amazing, but definitely creepy. Yeah, I mean, it has got a Harry Potter sort of vibe about it, though, which is kind of cool. Right, moving on, because we are running out of time. I don't know if we're going to have time for science with Alex, but we have.
That
we
must
need.
happen.
We have the sausage one. Where's that gone? Bloody sausage.
Ooh, half-eaten sausage.
Yes, this is for you, Ori. What's this here?
Yes. So, half-eaten sausage solves 9-year-old German burglary. Like, okay, if you guys know me, I love a good hot dog. So the fact that, a hot dog or sausage has solved a crime makes me really happy inside.
Good.
Me too. I'm also a big fan of hot dogs, by the way, so I'm
we're
totally
gonna
on
be
board.
best friends, Eric, forever.
You and I will go to the Salty Dog in Sarasota and have the beer-battered, deep-fried, foot-long hot dog with bacon bits and cheese.
Why do you gotta do this to me? Now I'm hungry.
It's the sexy voice that makes it that.
But I mean,
it's not that I'm talking about it like this. It's that I'm talking about it like this.
Imagine
the radio in it.
Cheese sauce dripping off your bun, the mustard just congealing with the bread, mating, fucking that ketchup into a swirly mess.
And it sounds bizarre, but then this is the Weekly Bizarre. But I love hot dogs.
Okay, all right. Let's go back to the story. Okay.
Oh.
So
and then we drop some strawberry jam.
Oh my god, it never ends. Okay, Berlin, Germany police say that they have solved a 9-year-old burglary after DNA found on a half-eaten piece of sausage matched that of a man detained in France over an unrelated crime. Police in the western town of, oh my god, I'm going to butcher this, Schwelm, said Thursday that the sausage belonged to the victim, and the suspect, a 30-year-old Albanian citizen, appeared to have helped himself to bite during the March 2012 break-in.
Oops, the DNA.
I've got a tip for you, Ori. Whenever you approach a German name, you think of Bruno, and you go as camp as you possibly can, because I see things like Anna go, Schwelm.
Schwelm.
It's nice of you to talk about German names with the person that has the German name, but not ask him.
And one of my best friends is in Germany, so she's probably going to watch this and she's going to be like, my god, I can't.
Watch this.
You fuck the language up.
Flugger.
Eric Flüger. You must honor the umlaut.
Works really well.
I mean, any news story beginning in Germany is just automatically funny, so...
Yes, this is true.
Hot dog just makes it extra so.
Hugh Janus is in the chat. He says, I'm so hungry. David says, that's the worst story ever. It's funny because it's your story, buddy.
Okay, you want a pun? Fine. It solved a 9-year-old crime. There's your German pun joke. There, boom, done.
You get another clap off me. They're very rare, those claps, Eric. Well done. George says the sexy voice is so hot. But what about my Bruno voice? You like this, yeah? You would like to hear this in your dreams? I know you'd like it, boy. Yeah.
So sexy.
Ryan Berger says, well, I'm spent after hearing that voice talking about the hot dogs.
Wait till you see me talk about hamburgers.
Oh god, I love it. Did I ever tell you how I used to do voiceovers for On the Left Side, which was a football podcast, and I used to do impressions of like footballers, managers, these sort of things, and they asked me to do Jurgen Klopp, and the way I got to Jurgen Klopp, if you know who he is a very eccentric manager for Liverpool Football Club, is me and Garrett used to do this show together, and we used to cover a lot of German stories on purpose, just so I could do our cramped German voices and have this conversation between each other. So to get to Jurgen Klopp, I went to the camp. Yes, my name is Jurgen Klopp. Yes, my name. Now I brought it down a little bit. My name is Jurgen Klopp, and there it is, Jurgen Klopp. Yes, I've been at Liverpool for a few years now. He's a very strange guy.
I like it. I think it sounds wonderful.
I mean, I could never get to Morgan Freeman.
No, you can't.
In a
You
world.
don't have a clue.
Oh God! Right, fuck it. We're gonna do it. We might run over.
Get to the science thing.
Okay, let's do it.
Go.
Grab your thinking caps. It's time for the most popular radio segment on the face of the planet. Welcome to Science with Alex. Hit it. He loves China. He's not a racist. He likes turtles. Only on the USUK Weekly Bazaar.
Raise the
Oh yeah, I love that. Andy
We're
and
all
Marv,
like
absolutely.
just jamming.
I love that
Right?
so much. Andy, thank you for that, and also I want to say thank you to Andy because when David dropped, he didn't drop out. I kind of went, "Don't come on the show, David. Relax. I need to find a new host." So there are 3 people I mentioned, messaged 4, should I say? I put 1 in the Biscuiteers. I messaged in the Biscuiteers. 1 was Andy and Marv, Tom Bruno, and the USUK guys, and I was just a case of waiting for who came back first. And Ori was like, "I'll do it straight away." So if it wasn't Ori, it would have been Andy and Marv.
No,
So
okay, let's say what I exactly said. I go, I know I'm just your pimp, but I'm available.
well, you are. What's going? Why wouldn't that fuck off? Like what? Okay, whatever. There we go. Wrong
It's
button.
fucking
Right,
off.
Science with
What the
Alex. This is the part of the show where I try and sound all clever and all that. It's really funny. And we have 2 great stories for you today. One of which is by I labeled this one. I'm doing a great job today, aren't I? Bloody hell, Brian. Fucking bloody hell. Brian Cox is one of my favourite people on the planet. I love so much.
love
He
him
says.
too.
Oh god.
Brian Cox shares scientific theory that we might be holograms, and this morning viewers are baffled. It says Professor Brian Cox has shared a mind-boggling theory on This Morning, which is a TV show in the morning, by the way. Can you believe it? That the universe, as we know, it might actually be a big hologram, and viewers were absolutely perplexed. Are you guys a fan of Brian Cox? Do you
I've
know who
never
he
even
is?
heard of him.
I most definitely am. Brian Cox, he is one of those science popularizers. They're scientists in their own right, but their principal function has been to make science accessible for non-scientists. Carl Sagan started the trend really in modern times. Here's Brian Cox continuing to pick up the baton. And he's done several mini-series of several episodes in length. We've watched them here because we're big suckers in this household for higher physics programming. We love watching that stuff. That's why I love bringing the Morgan Freeman voice into this, because we loved watching Through the Wormhole.
Oh my
What
god,
was
that's
that?
such a good one.
That was a good show, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was
it
like
was
several
very good.
seasons worth of big ideas.
Space. Time.
The final frontier. Oh wait, what?
Life itself. The secrets to the cosmos lie through the wormhole. And that's just as good as the sexy hot dog boys, if you ask me.
Excuse me, sir. That was a very good Morgan Freeman.
Wow.
Very
Thank
impressed.
you.
That's the tip of the ice. Me and Eric have had days worth of conversations, voicing back into where he cannot get off Morgan Freeman. He's that good at it, but he kind of
My
like.
friend.
I love you,
Throwing
Eric.
off
I
the
love you
roof
so
of
much.
Shawshank. But now to get to the subject at hand, I love this holographic question because it's really all about something.
Here, let me get out of that. All right, I'm back to myself. It's about a simple question. What happens when something goes into a black hole? What happens to the information? And what does the answer to that question have to say about the larger reality in which we live? Now, don't expect me to wrap my head around it. Even if I tap into my inner Morgan Freeman, he's just going to say,
I got nothing. I can't wrap my head around this either. I'm just going to go back to narrating movies about penguins.
And I think the important thing about this article is it reads, on Thursday's edition of the ITV program, Brian joined Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford to discuss his upcoming tour, he's very popular, by the way, hugely popular. He has got one of the only reasons for me. I mean, people love BBC Radio 4, so I've got to be careful. But the only reasons for me to listen to Radio 4 is Infinite Monkey Cage, which is a podcast or game show he does where you mix scientists, very clever scientists, up with comedians and things, and he talks science. It's quite funny, actually, and he's like the regular guest on there. Anyway, he says his tour, which he's hoping will be able to take place in October, having originally been planned 2 years ago. During the interview, the physicist shared a fascinating hypothesis. That's the important word there. Hypothesis. It's a theory about how black holes could be connected to our reality, resulting in Ruth saying her mind was blown. Brian, 53, explained that when people consider black holes, they may think what they have got to do with the universe and nature, these completely collapsed stars, these weird things that we hear about in science fiction. But I'll just say the answer. I'll say what we're beginning to suspect. He said, building up the suspense. By studying those and answering some questions that Stephen Hawking asked actually over 50 years ago, we've come to the conclusion, and I'll just say it out loud and then I'll stop, that we might be holograms, that the universe might not be at all the way we perceive it to be. It's just so strange, he stated. Ruth appeared particularly taken aback by his theory, explaining that as she was never good at science, she's trying her best to wrap her head around Brian's explanation of the theory. You're blowing... She doesn't speak like this, by the way, but I'm going to do it anyway. You're blowing me mind now, you see, because I was never good at science anyway, and I'm trying really hard to follow and keep up here, but that is mind-blowing, she said. This morning, viewers were similarly baffled by the theory, and some poking fun at the idea, because that's what people do when they don't understand things. They poke fun, right?
I was gonna go there. You got there ahead of me. Awesome.
Yeah,
You're brilliant.
You go, Eric.
Oh, what can I go after that? Because I was going to say mostly that. For one thing, she shouldn't be too hard on herself because, I mean, granted, I'm not either, but at least I have been able to wrap my head around some concepts, and I can't wrap my head around this one at all. It's beyond me. And so she shouldn't be too hard on herself by any means, no. Can you wrap your head around it, Alex? Ori, can you?
No, I find it difficult. It is, but I mean, like at the same time, I don't like listening to Brian Cox and he's like, "Oh yeah, the Earth's gonna die." Yeah, absolutely, it's gone.
I mean, my head breaks off right around the time when he was talking about Stephen Hawking's conclusions about black holes. That at least I could wrap my head around.
Well, I mean, Stephen Hawking kind of made sense in that very smart person kind of way, where like this was like even I like checked out for a second. I was like, oh, look, I have walls.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I get Hawking's assumption that he did in fact prove it. There's no assumption about it. Yeah. What if radiation actually did come out of a black hole over time? What if black holes weren't completely black? What if they actually did shine, so to speak, in the form of what became called Hawking radiation, which means that eventually black holes will dissolve. Just wait long enough. But then what does that do to the information inside a black hole? That's what the holographic principle is all about. But that's where my head goes, no more.
But like when you think about light, right? Okay, and the stars you see at sky, you know, you're not actually seeing what you're seeing. You're seeing a shadow of time, aren't you? So it's like even something as simple as light is hard to get around. And he is very good, Brian Cox, I've got to say it, taking a really intricate ideas and dumbing them down, simplifying them, and being able to sort of explain to people really complicated and complex science in the most simple way. And that's what makes him brilliant at what he does, because he has this really calming voice as well. And he'd be like, okay, so I'm going to explain the model of the universe with you with a stick and a bucket, okay? And we're going to do it in the middle of the Garby Desert, because that's where the BBC wanted me to do it. Okay, here we go. And he'll do it. And he does these amazing documentaries, but they always send him to the most remote places in the world to explain something he could have done in the classroom. It's ridiculous, but it's
He's
brilliant.
right. They took him to some ancient, like, sundial way off in the desert somewhere, and any modern sundial in a city square might have done the trick. But it's thematic there in the desert, so let's throw him there.
Absolutely.
Well,
So
you
that's
need to
one.
make it look visually nice.
Bingo.
Absolutely. We are going to run over on this show. I hope you guys don't mind just a little bit, because this one other Science with Alex story has got to be spoken about, and Ori is really dying to speak about it. And this is the story that says here, wobbling muons hints strongly at the existence of bizarre new physics. What's this, Ori? You might be able to explain this.
Okay, so I was really excited about this. So muons, I had to look up how to say it. So they're a different kind of physics. So they're kind of like popping in and out of our reality. Okay, so I'm going to read it. Hold on. Muons aren't spinning the way the best physics models predict. Why not? It must be due to completely unknown subatomic particles popping into and out of existence in the quantum form. This isn't some sort of scientific technobabble. This is from quite real experimental results, and may very well be the universe telling us we don't yet understand everything about it. These extremely interesting and possibly game-changing results come from Fermi Lab, a high-energy particle accelerator laboratory in Illinois. They do a lot of different types of experiments like these, and one is called Muon G2. I freaking love this name. Literally G-2, which means a subatomic particle called a muon. Muons are similar to electrons that have a negative charge, for example, and the same spin, a fundamental property of particles, which will become important in a moment, though they're 200 times more massive. Using everything we know about subatomic particles called the Standard Model, physicists can predict a lot more about the behavior of a muon. For example, a spinning charged particle has a magnetic property associated with it called a moment. Having moments, which is a measure of the strength of its magnetic field and its orientation. If you put a muon into a magnetic field, it will undergo a wobble called precession. This is physically similar to a toy top wobbling as it spins on a tabletop. The models predict this precession extremely precisely. Extremely. Physicists assign a value to this called the G factor, and it's very close to, but doesn't equal to. Like it's so much science. There's so much science in this article. You have to read it.
I could tell you're loving the hell out of it. You're enjoying. You like your physics too.
I do. I know nothing about it, but it makes me so happy to read it because I'm like, I have no idea.
What I find extraordinary is that they do all the answers that they've had for years. They can come across a theory that can just fuck all that up. Like, that's that, and it's happening. It's happening.
Science for you, and scientists have to roll with it. What? Our entire understanding has been utterly upended. Okay, let's roll the punch. Because the truth is more important than a mental construct. So if the information changes, they'll just go, okay. As they should.
I remember watching the Joe Rogan episode where they were talking about the pyramids actually being 15,000 years old, not 4 or 5. Which means they'd have to literally tear up every single history book ever made if that was the case. And I'm like, well, why haven't they put more into this? Like, obviously, there's evidence to suggest that the pyramids are of that age. There's the water splash mark data, or the corrosion by the water from an asteroid that hit the Earth 15,000 years ago is visible on what they made. And so there's this evidence. Why are they not going back and being like, oh, maybe we were wrong? But I'm thinking maybe it's because they're being very stubborn with what they've taught us in schools. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, we're constantly rewriting history as it is. We're constantly finding things about, say the American forefathers or even the British royals. And people still only want to, cling on to what they've been told. And that's why the internet is such a great thing. Because we're constantly finding out new stuff. I have a hard time. I've never been a science person. I'm really suck at math. but I love it. I love science. I'm into superheroes and everything, and it's really important that if you're into those things, you kind of like have a little grasp on what happens when science happens. And it's really hard to sit there and look at it and be like, oh, this is not right, because what about these muon particles now that you knew nothing about? And it has to change the whole scope of everything. Hope that made sense.
Yeah.
I tried to science.
It's this is the thing, right? Because I'm not a scientist. None of us are. So like, we aren't the Brian Coxes of the world, the Darwins, the Hawkins of the world. So we don't quite understand what's going on, but we can only piece together what we see in the news, and this is why it's important to do these silly little Science with Alex segments, because even though I'm taking a piss out of these little stories, I'm still kind of telling people what's going on and giving them an idea. Maybe they want to go and find out a bit more. But anyway,
well, the real villain in the piece is the format Brian had to give it in, where he probably only had a couple of minutes to explain a theory
Something
that
very
takes
complex.
more than a couple of minutes.
but I think
So
that's
what
that's
could
very
we
clever.
do except go, you got me. Now on to our next human interest story.
Yeah, but that's that's the clever thing about it, though. If he's going on tour, he's like, here's half a nipple. If you want to see more, come and see my tour. Yeah,
It was
that's
more
clever.
like an eighth of a nipple, and
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It was a
Yeah.
digitized nipple, so it was one little digitized square.
1/18th.
Please pay to get behind the paywall to see more.
Really?
That's the Jennifer Aniston through the shirt nipple. That's what that was. Right, let's get on with the gauntlet, because we could do this in 15 minutes. Let's see if we can. It is now time for the gauntlet, and I've lost my card. There it is. Boom. We're in the gauntlet, baby. That's what we're doing. We're going to test, because me and Eric, we are not doing a podcast. Eric's going to do a podcast, and he's going to teach me lessons of the world. So we need to test.
I am.
Eric's skills.
Oh, yeah, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Really,
yes,
all
yes,
this
yes,
is,
you are.
it's actually something weirder besides, and that is I'm trying to figure myself out now that so many things have happened to make me, as you've talked about, ideas, completely upsetting ways of thinking. Well, events can happen in a personal life, and it can upset your way of thinking, and now you have to completely re-examine yourself. And why not do that in front of a live studio audience?
Absolutely. And that's what we're
Why
going to
not?
do, baby. But we need to make sure that Eric is good behind the microphone. So what we're going to do is we're going to test him with the gauntlet. We have three
Right.
rounds, if you've never watched this before. We have the inanimate object round, we have the speed round, and we have the what the fuck is that round. The first round we're going to give you, Eric, is I'm going to give you an inanimate object to talk about for a whole minute. I haven't got anybody with a stopwatch today, unless you've got one, Ori.
I do actually. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a minute. You can tell people what it is. You tell stories about it. You can describe it for a whole minute. The only rule is you're not allowed to stop talking. Okay? Are you clear on this one?
Alrighty, bring it on.
All right, let me
Here
know.
is your object, and Ori will start the clock as soon as you start talking. Eric, your inanimate object is here.
My inanimate object is almost impossible to describe. I have no idea what that is. Forget it. I think it's either a prayer thing or it's a child's toy or a combination
it's a
of the
ball in a
two.
cup. A ball in a cup.
It's a what?
A ball in a cup. You got to get the
A
ball in the
ball in a
cup.
cup. I've stopped talking. Oh no, I've broken the rule.
Keep going.
Theoretically,
Go.
I've done more by talking about hot dogs. But look, what if we covered this object in cheese sauce? It wouldn't taste as good. Might get stuck in our throats too, I might add. And don't get me started on getting it out after.
That was funny. Oh, that.
Not
I'm really
what you
sorry.
expect.
That wasn't what you
At
expected, and that's what
all.
that's what this game's all about. It's about throwing you guys what you'd least expect.
It's called I'm at a Loss, the series.
Right, I need to find the PDF. I didn't pull it up because I am obviously not a professional. Here it is. Look at that. How quick that was.
All right,
Whiteley
Nivas.
for the win. Right, okay. Here are your speed round questions. If you don't like the answer, if you don't want to answer one of these, just pass. There are 50 questions here for you to answer as quick as you can. It's impossible, but the idea is you answer them as quick as possible. I've pre-written
Middle
down
name,
these.
John.
Wait.
Haha, faster than you. Now, where's the
Right,
next
Ori,
question?
2 minutes on the stopwatch on the timer.
Okay. All right, go.
And we will start as soon as Eric starts talking. Your first question is, Number 12.
Jim John. Okay, next question.
Simpsons
Simpsons
or
or
Family
Family
Guy?
Guy? Simpsons. Family Guy, definitely.
Family Guy. What is your dream
What is
car?
my dream car? Kit, without question.
Kit. What a great
Michael,
answer.
we got to activate the turbo boost. Sonic or Mario? I guess Mario if I had to choose, but really I'm not preferring either. Okay.
Nice. One thing you're
One thing
proud
you're
of.
proud of? The coloring book, certainly. I'm proud that I'm still here, that 2020 didn't destroy me. I'm proud
Number
of
30,
that.
Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network, no question about it.
Nice.
Neither of them had Mystery Science Theater, so really, more for me. My favorite comfort food recently, Fruity Pebbles flavored coffee creamer. Which,
Coffee creamer?
yes, Ori understands. And she understands you should drink that straight. It would be
Like
to
cereal
defile
milk
it
is great. Okay,
to
okay.
put
Next,
coffee.
next.
Moving on.
Marvel
Marvel or DC?
DC, that's a really tough call anymore. I grew up on DC because it had a lot of the cultural oxygen during the late 80s, early 90s, but really Marvel has done just fine for itself. One
Nice.
guilty
One
pleasure.
guilty pleasure.
German opera. I'm not guilty about that. I'm proud of that. Guilty? Zack Snyder's Justice League? Well,
Yeah, we'll have that. Snyder's Justice League. Boxers,
I
briefs,
feel a
or
bit
Canal?
guilty.
Time.
Time.
Time? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I could snag boxers and briefs.
Nice.
I can't
Okay.
go commando. I have a granddaughter living here.
Nice. That was good.
That would be just
So 2
grade A
minutes.
wrong.
Um,
I'm surprised I didn't have to go, oh, pass.
there are some in there.
Like his $20,000
Some might
pyramid.
pass that. Not everybody wants to describe what their favorite porn is, But either way, right, Ori, we need you to try and hide your face, or so you can't see the screen, as well. I'm going to get the time on this one.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, because I can't see the time.
Exactly. So you're going to have 2 minutes. You got 10 pictures to try and describe to Ori without her actually seeing them.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to have the listeners keeping an eye on Ori to make sure she's not peeking. So if you see Ori peeking in the comments, guys, make sure you give her some shit for it, okay? And Eric, I will start the timer as soon as you start talking about your first item. So you can't tell her what they are, and she can't see them, but you have
Let's
to
see if I
describe
can paint
what
a
they are.
word picture. I
Okay.
certainly was able to with hot dogs. Let's see what I can do.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay,
Bring it.
your first object is...
It looks like I could figure out how to play it, but I would obviously need the instruction book, but I suspect the instructions are in a foreign language. So I would have to just kind of figure it out largely by feel, but it's brightly colored and that helps, and I love bright colors.
Twister? Is it a foreign Twister?
You'd think. It looks like Twister, but the scale is way off. It's a lot more like not Risk, not Chinese
All right, we're
checkers.
going to pass on this. We're going to come back.
Okay. Well, you ride to school.
School bus.
God help me. Did I screw that up?
It's fine,
Okay,
it's fine.
first he's dead, then he's back, then he's dead, then he's back
Palpatine!
again.
Palpatine?
You'd think, but close.
I raised him right. He's like one of my very own.
Oh, Darth Maul.
There you
Yes.
go.
Okay.
Okay, one of them looks like they haven't aged at all. What the other one looks like they have aged at all. But I love the other one's father in Spartacus, so I shouldn't be too hard on them.
Oh.
Yes.
I can't think of them.
And he turned up in Ant-Man, so there's that.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
We'll move on. We'll move on.
Sharon Stone was his nemesis.
Okay.
Let's do a version without the guns involved and put radio walkie-talkies in instead. But nobody liked that version, so it went away. Really?
Why
Nothing?
does this sound like the music sounds like E.T.?
Even John Williams didn't.
Yes,
Bingo!
E.T. Well
Oh, you did really good on the music.
Eleanor Rigby.
Okay.
Like, I've got nothing for this one because my
Hey,
granddaughter loves these
Jude.
guys.
Oh, the Beatles.
Don't
I'll
be
give you
afraid.
I love the Beatles.
Oh, and we got time. There we go, time. You can look, Ori.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's go for these. Right. So the first one was Ludo.
Oh my god.
That was a very
Yes,
difficult
I messed that up royally.
My wife picked these pictures, so you'll just have to blame
Oh,
her.
thanks, Mrs. Whiteley.
The couple were Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I knew.
Sharon Stone was his nemesis.
Yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's gorgeous.
And Demi Moore.
We had here the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I'm going to show you the ones we did have because I want to know if you'd have been able to get them, Eric. We have bananas.
I probably could have done something with bananas.
And we had a pager.
Yes, we have none of them. We have none of them today. Well, good luck.
And
there.
then finally, we had the Flintstones. Yeah,
Bonnie, I could have done something with that. Or
kind
you
of
have caught on.
wrong way up the list.
I mean, I barely got the ET with the music. I was like, where's he going with his description? But like to the music, I was like, this sounds like ET.
Well done, though, Eric. Well done.
It got there. She got there.
Right. Eric, let's first of all, I want to explain to people why this is special. What we're doing. Me and Eric have had over the years we've done nice things together, and we've got a lot of respect for each other. Here is a bit of artwork that I put together. It came on Thorskin, and I was incredibly proud that he was one of our guests. And this is a collection of Eric's art around the Thorskin logo from our old show. And if you're a fan of Hollywood Babylon, you'll realise that Kevin Smith is a fan of Eric's art, and Ralph, should I say, because he used to draw these amazing bits of artwork for Hollywood Babylon, and they were treasured. I've got one right here on my wall. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get it up.
Ooh, I see chest. Ooh.
I have.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah.
Now that's the one where I did the guy that I probably wouldn't do now that the news has happened and things have happened since, but I didn't know then.
Yeah, bit of Crosby there. Look.
I do apologize.
Eric very kindly made a logo for us for Thorskin as well. You got Shane, Tom, and me there dragging the Thorskin hammer. Those are good days, man. And during the Thorskin, we did these amazing Star Wars specials, which Ori, you'll be aware of because I think I shared them on Geeky Vengeance. And these were very slow, methodic, sort of talk through these movies. I mean, if you're not a fan of the prequels, I guarantee you, after listening to this, you might actually appreciate them a bit better. Eric this is actually one of the finest bits of audio ever made because Eric is just stunning on them, and which is why I thought I'd always love to do a podcast with Eric. And so I said to him, would you like to do a podcast very recently? And he said yes. So Eric, do you want to tell our listeners what you're going to be making?
Well, God only knows. I think we'll be making it up as we go. But it's called, at least for now, Yelling at Clouds. Bada boom! Perfect timing.
I like that logo. It's very nice.
Made it myself. And yes, it's a Simpsons reference, but we're not really going to be talking about the Simpsons. I'm not versed in the Simpsons. What it is me basically examining myself. Now, this wasn't the case when Alex made the offer. When Alex made the offer, my father was still alive, but I didn't get the chance to tell him about this prior to everything happening. And now that he has died and I've gone through the necessary processes of and all that, what's left to do? Well, now you've got to figure out who you are in the wake of all this. You meaning me. And okay, that involves taking out things in your life that meant something to you and go, okay, what does this mean now? What should it mean now? Should it mean anything now? Or should I just put it aside? Or should I keep it? So in a sense, I'm going to look at some aspect of myself each and every week and decide, I don't know, keep it or lose it. Is it valuable or is it not? And in the course of that, I'll be talking about a lot of things that aren't me. I'll talk about Star Wars some more. I'll talk about things like, is one cut of Justice League different than another? I'll talk about ideas big and ideas small and ideas in between and ideas that just don't make any damn sense. Like the hologram thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll make head or tail of it.
Is
But
it
the
safe to
point
say?
being is that, in a sense, it's going to be therapy for me each and every episode, and Alex will be the one going, "Tell me about your mother."
I'm definitely gonna dress up as a sexy psychiatrist. Nice glasses. Drop a bit of chest. There you go.
We're going to be a bit Jungian about it, so it's a bit hard to sell sex to that. Now, if it were Freudian, we might have a shot.
Oh, please don't do that, Alex. I'm scarred.
It's what I do, so I can't help it. I'm very sorry,
I
but no, I'm very looking forward to this because I feel like Eric could talk about the inside of a paper bag and make it interesting. I really do. So this is going to be a really good experience, I think. Because
and
I
took that as a compliment.
And you know, I always look at the mind of an artist, and Eric is an amazing artist. I mean, look at this. Some of the stuff I've done. He sent me this, the Grown Up Grogu Chronicles. I love that.
There was one show that they didn't talk about in the shareholders meeting, and there it is.
And then there's some of the artwork that you sent me. There's two here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I did those for a charity called Grateful Veteran, and their premise is that cannabis, you see the leaf there, can be used to help veterans' problems, or at least certain ones. And I'm not going to argue that premise, and my dad being a veteran, I wanted to do something for him, and it was about a year or so before he passed, so yes, he did get to see it all done and appreciate it for what it was and say, "Hey, my son did something." He didn't sound like that, but, you know, neither did my mom sound like this. It's just this bizarre fictional world in which my family sort of lives.
Oh, it's going to be good. See, already.
But you see,
I'm excited.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Ori, you'll be welcome, of course. You know, I'm always welcome to have people react in amazement and or incredulousness to things I say.
I've got you. I got the faces.
It's going to be fun. Make sure you guys check that out when it's out. We haven't got a release date yet, but we're very close to it. Ryan does chip in. We are very close to it. Ryan chips in with the two cuts of Justice League are different, but they're both still terrible. I'd say one's mediocre and one is a C+. That's what I'd say. I mean, that's very fair to say. But as that being said, I am just washing my hands of all that Justice League Warner Brothers bullshit because I've read into the Ray Fisher files that were put in some rag somewhere. I've read the whole story, the whole thing that went on, and it's all just a load of shit. It's just a mess.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has screwed themselves with DC. It's not even worth it right now. I'll stick with my Marvel.
Ryan also does say that I like all though, Ori. I like a bit of everything. You know, like it's good to It's good to have a bit of everything, I think. Like Ryan says here, he says he likes your Freeman and your Palpatine. I think we could have a Palpatine off, though, Eric. I feel like I've got a very good Palpatine. I am the Senate.
You can't be the Senate. I'm already there.
I'm sorry, Eric just won.
No, I'm awful at it.
Won. Okay, Okay, my group is called Geeky Vengeance for a reason. Because of Palpatine coming back with a vengeance. I'm a Palpatine girl, and that just stroked something dark inside me. Just saying.
I love that character.
He's my favorite character in the whole damn saga, and he's my unguilty pleasure. I feel no guilt feeling pleasure about my boy Sheev.
Dude, when he came, when his laugh was featured at the end of the movie, and I was like, when he's like, and I'm like, I punched my friend in the arm. I'm like, oh my god, guys, he's coming back.
I was like, well, it worked for Dark Empire. It should work for this. Although I have to ask, is this what he was promising Padme this whole time? Or Anakin? I mean, was he promising that Padme could come back from the dead only to be carried around on a crane all day long? No.
You call this cheating death? I can't even go to the bathroom anymore. They just carry me around on a crane all day long.
I feel like any promise made by the Sith or by Palpatine personally is almost like a gypsy curse. There's a cost. It's like you're not just going to get what he's saying. There's always going to be a cost for it. So, and that's like very much the Sith way. Anyway, well, we could talk about this for hours, but we've already ran nearly 20 minutes over.
I have had
We're gonna have to do a Star Wars special. Just
count on it.
For it.
I keep
and you will
Eric,
melt when I
it.
talk about my force painting.
Yeah, I haven't got a copy of that here. I'm very sorry to share. I couldn't find it. But every time I say to Eric, we need to crack on with the Star Wars specials, he's like, my dad's just died. Can we just get I'm like, okay, Eric, we'll deal with that first and then we'll get to it. But yeah.
Well, you didn't do it to him. It was just bad circumstance.
Alex murdered him.
It wasn't pretty, but you didn't do it.
Aww.
I just don't give a fuck. I do give a fuck about you, Eric. I think you and your wife are lovely people, and I'm very looking forward to what we're doing. Right, I've got some shout outs to do before we get out of here. I'm sorry, Eric, to cut you off.
Go for it.
USUK is a show that's running on so many different formats. Obviously, we have the Weekly Bazaar that you're listening to right now. The other live show that we do is Wednesday Night Live. It's every Wednesday at 9 p.m. UK or 4 p.m. on the Eastern Coast there. And it's very much a chat down the pub. That's what we like to do. Catch up. I've completely ripped everything out of that show now. No, we don't go into any stories loaded like we did with this show. The games are going to be, they got their own separate time at the end now. It's literally just 90 minutes of chat, just general relaxed talk, and it's working so well. So make sure you join us for the Wednesday Night Live. Most people that are watching now do join us, like Ryan and George and whatnot. Yeah. We also have USUK Chronicles with Jamie Westwood and Tom Stevens. They're recording right now, and they've got their latest episode, which was out Monday, which was with Paul Rugg from Animaniacs and many other things. Bloody genius. So make sure you check that out. We also have a great episode that we released today with National Geographic explorer and Conservation Director from National Park Rescue, Dr. Niall McCann. Very, very honoured to have spoken to him, and he tells us about some great stories of him rowing the Atlantic with his mate. He had a standoff with pirates. Did a Mexican standoff where he was kind of had to back away. He broke his back parasailing in the mountains. He's done all sorts. Honestly, his stories are just fantastic. Make sure you check that out. And you can find everything you need for USUK at our website, which is usuknetwork.com, and that's powered by our friends at Web Orchard. This is a guy called Pete White, and if you need a website, he will fucking sort you out good and proper. So make sure you go to Web Orchard, either side of the pond. If you need a website, Web Orchard are your people. They'll help you out. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Ori, you've been great.
I was laying in bed. What else was I doing?
Yes, you've been. Thank you very much for stepping
fantastic.
in. Eric, I can't wait to do this with you. If anything, this has been like, foreplay. I'm not gonna lie. This is. I'm really excited to see what's coming after.
Guys, I feel very uncomfortable now.
Of the best kind. Well, I thank you, Alex, for helping me to get my toe wet in this thing again. After everything that's happened, as you might imagine, I've not entered into this without a certain amount of trepidation. Can I pull it off? Will the computer not just crash on me? Turns out the answer was yes, but we bounced back. And I will tell you this, if I could relate something personal. As I said, Dad passed before I could tell him about all this. But the fact that it was a news item to be told during what passed for a wake with all of this made a big difference. In other words, when I told my family that Alex came and made me this offer and that this was going to be a thing, it made a tremendous difference in them having something happy and positive to talk about. And not just go, boo. So, with taking the comedy and all the funny impressions and all this stuff away for just a second, I wanted to thank Alex for making that crucial difference strictly on a familial, emotional level when it mattered most.
Eric, you are a hero of mine, and you have been since I first listened through Babylon. And I saw your artwork and stuff, and I was like, I'd love to get to know this guy. And you came on my show when I was an aspiring young podcaster with bright ideas, and things are starting to come together now. But it's because people like you helped me at the very beginning, so it goes both ways.
My boy has grown.
And by the way, Eric showed me the Force painting that he's working on right now. This is the smaller version that he's made. He's making one much bigger now, which has taken him a very long time to do. But,
Oh my God, is it taking the piss? In the worst way. That is just the rough sketch for purposes of clarity. Yes, the big thing is this huge monumental affair. And I keep thinking, it's going to be finished. It's going to be finished. And then I'm like, if I work on it now, I will so screw it up because I'm still caught in, oh my God, the hasty stroke off goes astray. But I will get it done. And if there's a God in heaven, Lucasfilm will take notice.
What I love about this is there is every single detail of this, what Eric is making, has relevance to Star Wars, the Force, and everything that moves around it, from the stones, the colors, the lines. Everything that is in that picture is Star Wars related, and it is there for a reason, and it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So I love it very much. Yeah.
Well, that itself will kill an hour's discussion, and one day, I promise, we'll do that.
We will. I just want to, before we get out of here, I realise I'm rambling, but I want to say that I got a job on the radio. I applied for a job on the radio thinking, thank you. I didn't know what I was going to do, what was going to happen. I was kind of like, do I do this thing? Because like the idea of sitting behind a microphone is natural to me. That's fine. When I'm coming into mixing music and sort of entertaining people with my music tastes and doing, like, radio is very different to podcasting. But I applied for it anyway and just thought, fuck it, let's see what happens. And they pretty much said, let's do this then. When do you want to do your show? I got a 2-hour show once a week on Splash Damage Radio, which is a radio station based in Liverpool, but the guests are international. You got guests in Germany, Scotland, America, all over the world, and Shrewsbury now. And I had a good think about what I wanted to make. I think the noughties, the 2000 to 2009, is a decade that's very much neglected. I feel like you got 90s channels, 80s channels, 60s channels, nothing really dedicated to the noughties. So I thought, let's take a bit of the podcasting that I'm good at, the era of music that I love, and create a show called Naughty Talk with Alex Whiteley. So this is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm making.
This is so you.
It is so me, and that there I'm very proud of. That's that little tower. I took that off Frasier, by the way. That's my influence there. But that's the clock tower in the market.
Oh, for God's sakes, Alex!
Excuse me. So Naughty Talk is going to be coming soon. There is a Facebook page ready to be sort of finalized and stuff. I'll send you guys the link. Make sure you give me some support. My first show is going to be really nerve-wracking, but I'd love it if you were all there. So
I'll be there with bells on.
With bells on.
I say big old congratulations. I am so happy for you.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I might go down like the fucking Hindenburg, but we'll see.
And a blaze of glory, though. It will be beautiful.
We'll see. Right, guys, let's get the fuck out of here. We've been going for so long. Ori, Eric, thank you so much. Thank you guys for the comments. And thank you, wife, for the beer, the mid-show beer.
Yeah,
wow, how great that is. Right, it's been the Weekly Bazaar. Get the fuck out of here. Peace out.